So right now I'm just gonna be unplugging shit. Plug that. Get my other transmission bolts that are around there. There's one down there. One up in there. Right there. Another one back here. Right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my wires and shit all unhooked. Separate it real quick. Got her ass separated. It's a little bit of a bitch. Had to use a hammer and a screwdriver up in that bitch.
This is what we do around here. Yeah, YouTube, get that money, put these motors in.
Yeah. Alright, so I got my two motors over here. And now I'm just gonna swap all my wires and shit. Anything else I need to swap. So I'm over here, got my new motor back together with my transmission. It wasn't really too hard. I got two bolts in it. I'll go ahead and get the other bolts in it. Get my wires hooked up, get her ass back up in here. So I got my shit back together, all my wires hooked up and shit. Now I'm gonna go on ahead, got her chained up. Go ahead and get this bitch back up in here now. Alright, about to go in with my new shit, man. Just go right on in through the front. It should be pretty easy. Alright. Now I'm gonna go back and make sure I don't hit this fucking windshield. Stop about there. I'm gonna have to come up a little bit so I can clear this box. I'm gonna have to twist it. Might be best to get a hand with it from here, but I'm gonna get her ass. Alright, so I got her ass back in there. Just got to get my motor mouse back in here. Hooked up. My one over here. I'll start hooking my shit back up. Alright, so I went ahead and I got my damn axles back in there. My struts back together. My caliper back on. My wheel sensor back in there. My bracket. All that shit tight on both sides. Alright. So now I'm back here up at the top. Go ahead and get my radiator and shit back in here. And some other shit. Hooked up. So I got my radiator back in here. Got my AC lines hooked back up. Got my AC line hooked up right here. Got my line hooked to my damn thing there. I plugged up my cords for my fans. Put this little thing here. Got to put a couple more bolts in and plug it up. Ran my antifreeze lines and shit. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this top piece up on here. Alright, so I got all my heater coil hoses hooked up and shit. Fuel line. And some other shit. So now I'm gonna I'm gonna get my thing to put back in here. Right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my box back in here. Alright, so I put this shit in here. Now I'm gonna put this thing up in here. Put my two tins up in there. And then I got a line that goes on here. Gotta get a couple more bolts in here too. And then I'm gonna get my box over in here after that. Alright, so I drop my big old box up in here. I'm gonna just get this bitch bolted down. A couple bolts. Get my hoses back on there. They should just go on there pretty easy. Get my other one on over here. So I got all my shit plugged up here. Go ahead with my cover. Got all this shit plugged in right here. Got my cap on. Got this plug over here. Now I'm gonna go to the bottom and get a couple things done. Hook up my two hoses right here. And put my motor mount in right here. I'll probably put these brackets up. Put that bracket up. Put these two side brackets up, my middle bracket. And I'll put my exhaust up here. Alright, so I'm up under here. I got my motor mount bolted up. I got a big bar up under here. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my two little bars. And receptacles too. And I'm going to do my middle bar that goes right here. Right here. Outer bar over here. Do all three of them bitches real quick. And throw my exhaust up here. Throw these two hoses on to it. And the oxygen sensor plug right here. Get your ass up in there. Alright, so I got all three of my bars up here. This one's a little bent. But it went back in there alright. I'm going to do my exhaust real quick. Alright, so I got my exhaust back up here. Got my things in. My two hoses hooked up. My wire plugged up. My bolts in. And I got my wire clipped up here. So now, just looking around. Believe everything's done underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come on down and probably get my front bumper on and my hood on. So I got my air box on. Got all this shit plugged up. Everything hooked up. Mass airflow sensor back here plugged up. Hoses and shit. So I got one hose right here. Actually gotta get a different size for that. I'm gonna put my bumper and my hood on and my damn cowl that goes right here for my wiper blades. I got my front bumper back on. It's just a few clips in it. Couple bolts. This shit just slaps right on, clips right on. And you got a bolt up in here. Bolt same on the other side. And you got this little shit that you want to slap on here. I'm gonna get my other shit on. Alright, so I got all my fluids filled back up. Got some oil on her ass. Hook up my battery back here. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to start her ass up before I put all this other shit back. So I'm just slipping this thing in here like this. Come on. And then right there. And then right here. Give me a 10mm and tighten her ass up real quick. Alright. So I'm about to crank her ass up and see what she do. Sounds pretty good to me.
How does that happen, man?
Sounds good. So, I ain't gonna question nothing. We got a traction light on, a couple other lights on. I'm gonna get them fixed. But the Prius is running, and it sounds like it's running alright. Which that's what I was hoping for. Ah, fuck. So I can see that my fluid went down a little bit there. I need to add some. Shit, the motor itself sounds alright. A little noisy, but nothing major. It sounds good. Sounds great.